I don't believe I've ever encountered anywhere as scary as Dartmoor. Sometimes it's as if the whole place is some sort of malevolent deity who's personally out to get you, with his reeking bogs and ankle-turning rocks, with his dense fogs and sudden sunsets, with his drenching downpours and icy gales. And that's before I've even mentioned old Crocken's legions of mythical beasties ready to do his bidding and make your day a misery. Spectral hounds, mischievous pixies, devils, witches, will-o'-the-wisps. Don't even get me started on the owl man. That guy gives me the creeps. Add to this landscape layers and layers of forgotten history, the sense of isolation among the barren hills, and a huge and mysterious network of hidden caches, and you have the perfect setting for a horror story. Welcome back to the Dartmoor podcast. Earlier in the year, I stumbled upon a trailer for a horror film, The Medusa Box, set on Dartmoor and revolving around the world of letterboxing. It looks ace. And director, producer and co-writer Beex Phillips agreed to meet me to discuss what inspired her and what it's like trying to make a feature film in a place like Dartmoor. And what better place to meet than Bowerman's Nose, a spectacular granite stack whose legend tells of a famous hunter turned into stone for disturbing a coven of witches. A nice link to the Medusa of the film's title. The technical name for being turned to stone? To be petrified. Some legends claim that this improbable natural formation was worshipped as a pagan deity by the Druids in times long forgotten. Others wonder why, if this is the case, they didn't clear some of these boulders out the way to make a bit of space for their rituals. As I was pondering this question, Bex materialised, as if by magic, popping up out of the ferns right on time for our interview. How did you manage that? Exactly on 1:30, just like appearing by magic. I sort of thought I'd see you like appear over here, but you literally just popped out from behind a rock.
Because I'm so short.
So are you director? Is that your official role, or producer director, or what is it? I don't really know the terminology.
So I am a writer, but it's called story for me, because I came up with the story and then my screenwriting friend translated it into a...
Oh right, cool. So you wrote it like a short story?
Yeah, kind of wrote it as a tale, as a story.
Okay, yeah.
And then he's made a script and we just kept like going backwards and forwards, talking about what worked, what didn't work. He'd not been to Dartmoor at the time, so I had to keep going, that doesn't work because that would not happen.
Yeah. No, there aren't any kangaroos. Ridiculous.
So I guess I came up with the concept, and then I am a producer because we're low budget, so I have got a co-producer now, which is great, Dom co-producing, and then my role on set is director. Yeah.
Cool. Are you going to put yourself in the film as well?
I am in the film. I didn't want to be, but I am. I'm in some of the VHS footage.
All right, cool.
Because I thought I could get away with bad acting.
Bex, welcome to the Dartmoor podcast.
It's not a podcast.
Thank you very much. I have to do it every time.
I love it.
And I will carry on doing it as well, even though I hate
fault.
it. Yeah, I know, exactly. I've got to live with it. So look, my first question always to guests is, what is your sort of connection to Dartmoor? Like, when did you first come to Dartmoor? And
so I got a job on a small walkers campsite on the Tavistock side of Dartmoor. So I lived up there with my partner for a year in a very small van.
Right.
We were just under Pewtor,
Yeah.
in a place called Moor, which makes it sound like a town. It's basically the campsite, which is based around an old manor house, and then a farm. That's about it. We were there were no buses or anything. We had to walk across the moor to get to Tavistock for about, I think it was like 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with it. It kind of scared me a little bit because I grew up in towns and cities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was immediately kind of captured.
How do you end up making a film? It's a big question, I know.
It is a big question. So when we were on Dartmoor on the campsite, like I say, I think it's the darkness, like at night, because our van was so small we had to walk to the tiny toilet block, which was a good 1,000 metres away in the dark on the moor. And I was like, there could be anything out there. It's like this vast expanse. So I made a little short film on the campsite just with my DSLR and some really simple effects and music, just about walking to the toilet block. But then I also got really interested in all the folklore. I'm really into folklore, and obviously like the stones and the kind of the age, and I don't know, Dartmoor just feels like it's a living, breathing thing to me.
Yeah, it's got something about it, hasn't it?
Yeah. So then again on the campsite, there was one walker that used to come in every weekend, and he'd been letterboxing for like 60 years.
Right.
And he'd come every weekend. And so we started getting like hand delivered notes with stamps on and things saying, give this to, I'll call him Brian.
Yeah.
Give this to Brian, make sure no one else gets it. And then he was up in arms one night in the little bar that was in the manor house because someone had been sabotaging the letterboxes.
Right, yes, I've heard about this from the other letterboxes.
And I was just like,
Yeah, there's a story here.
Yeah. So it's all come from that year of living on the campsite and just drawing from the moor itself and then the people that I met on there.
Yeah. What's the sort of journey been from that idea and that inspiration to where we are now? I'm guessing a lot of hard work and...
Yeah, so it's been 7 years now.
Right.
And originally the film was going to be a short horror film based around this idea of letterboxing. And we filmed little bits here and there. Obviously, really low budget independent filmmakers. So I've got jobs. The people I work with got jobs. We're just passionate about making a film. So it took that long, and then obviously the horrible word lockdown happened.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that kind of stopped everything. And I just moved down, partly because I wanted to be near to the moor, and I just loved it down here. And it was the right time to move. And spoke to the screenwriter, and we were just like, this could be a feature. Maybe we'll use lockdown to expand it, and so now it's all the not so fun work of trying to organise.
Okay, so that's a good direction to go. The process of making a film on Dartmoor specifically, what are the challenges that's going to involve or is involving?
One of the big challenges is finding out who owns which bit of Dartmoor. There are maps and things, but it's hard to kind of track people down. And getting the permissions. Yeah. And then there's the practical side of like trying to set dates, but knowing that it could be rained off. The weather might not be on your side. Yeah. And then also getting a cast and crew that are up for rambling across the moors.
Yeah. That's an
Got to be
exciting
fit.
challenge as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. The only thing I've seen, so I obviously don't want to go anywhere near plot. I don't want it to be spoilt for me. I'm sort of very excited about that. The one sort of little thing I've seen is like a little trailer. So this is from the filming you've made before, right? And that had a very sort of 90s kind of look to it, like VHS almost. Is that a sort of style that's you're going to try and sort of keep?
It is part of the film. The
Yeah.
film's not fully VHS.
Right, so it's got VHS.
It's got
footage in
VHS
it.
elements, and we have filmed the prologue, which is a short film in its own right.
Yeah.
And that's doing some festivals at the minute. So we're kind of building it bit by bit.
Oh, that's kind
and then it will all slot together.
Yeah, it's amazing. So what sort of things have inspired that sort of look and stuff, or just in generally, what sort of things inspire you?
So like I said, the moor itself, the folklore, the landscape, and then from a film perspective, kind of 1980s practical effect horrors.
Oh right, brilliant.
So like American Werewolf in London is a big one.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And then there's also elements of kind of British folk horror from the 70s, the kind of Blood on Satan's Claw.
Not seen that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's like this holy trinity of British folk horror.
Right, okay.
And I think they're Blood on Satan's Claw, The Wicker Man, and The Witchfinder General.
Right, okay.
And they're kind of this... Another big influence of mine is kind of David Lynch and art house cinema. So it's going to be like all about the atmosphere, creating this atmosphere.
Yeah.
And also I want to try and communicate the moor as this living thing that action happens on, but the moor is also, it's almost like the moor's dictating what happens.
Yeah. Do you love Twin Peaks by any chance?
Yeah.
I think Twin Peaks is like one of the best things ever. No, I was going to say programmes, best things ever. I absolutely love Twin Peaks.
I should have bought coffee and donuts.
Yeah.
I just love the quirkiness of it, the comedy, but then also like the dread, the like juxtaposition. So in the Medusa Box, that there is comedy.
Yes.
But there's also darkness.
Yeah.
And I think you need the two.
That sounds brilliant.
To highlight the other. I want to capture have that like timelessness.
Right, yeah.
So you can't really pinpoint when it is. It's like an alternate version of reality.
Yeah, fantastic. That would give it a sort of dreamlike quality, but it's not anchored in any specific
Yeah, because that's what Dartmoor was like. Cause it's
absolutely.
So old.
Yeah. And very kindly, I'm going to try so hard to stay out of the way. You're going to let me come along one day when you're filming and sort of try and do a little sort of making of film.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm so excited that you're making a horror film up in Dartmoor. The inspirations make it sound like it's going to be absolutely amazing. The little clip I saw, I really, really loved as well, with the humour and the darkness in it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and thanks for coming to speak to me.
No worries. Thank you so much for chatting to me.
Yeah.
All of that.
There are millions of them, aren't there? That's the thing with Dartmoor. It's just like everything's got a ghost. You sort of just like some inconspicuous pile of rocks somewhere, and you look up and you go, oh yeah, there's a ghost of a fox lives here, or the devil did something here usually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the devil.
The devil on Dartmoor.
Lives on Dartmoor,
yeah.
Apparently. This is more fun.
Yeah.
The actual getting out here and.
Yeah, you popped up. You popped up from behind that rock because I was over here, and you surprised me.
I'll descend away. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you. Super.
I'll see you soon.
Yes, stay in contact about when you're filming and stuff, and that's the next thing to organise. Yeah. In fact, Medusa Box could do even better than inviting me to film the team at work. There were a few scenes set at a letterboxers meeting which required extras, so I actually had a chance to be in the film. So, on a spooky October afternoon, Mrs. Dartmoor podcast and I made our way to Dartington Village Hall to make our mark on cinema history. And, of course, no film about letterboxing could be complete without the legendary Rat Boy making an appearance too, and adding a bit of authenticity to proceedings by having a proper boxer in attendance. Along with the other extras, we were greeted with tea and biscuits before co-producer Dom introduced the cast and crew.
Thank you so much for coming on and giving us your Sunday afternoon. Very much appreciated. I'll quickly introduce you to a few people. We have Bex, who is the director of the film. I will introduce Jamie, who is the man standing behind the camera. We have Sam over there, or Sam. And then we have David and Claire, the talent, the actors in the scene you'll be working with. Everyone else, we have production assistants, including costume designer, props and stuff. Those are ours. If you have any questions throughout the day, please bother me. Don't bother Bex, because she'll probably be a bit busy.
And for a man used to just waving a GoPro about and hoping for the best, it was a real eye-opener to see how the pros made a film. And I don't just mean the daunting and impressive technology either. They even had a snappy clicker thingamy. The way the crew worked through each scene was inspiring. A balance between the strictly scheduled necessity to get all the elements of the story in place and a creative flair using what they had in the moment to capture the magic.
Django! Django!
Jamie wielding the camera and Bex directing just seemed like a great team. And of course they had to herd us extras into some semblance of a respectable performance too.
Also, sound note, no laughing. 1, 2, 3, and then we turn, and then James delivers his lines, and then we turn back. Okay. Cool. So 1, 2, go.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3. And turn back.
I need your stupid club. Well, think again. Heathens, losers, the lot.
It was a great experience. But what I really wanted to see was how filming would go up on the wilds of the Moor. And it wasn't until December until an opportunity would present itself. Bex and the team had been trying to film a scene in Manaton since the project first started, but in typical Dartmoor fashion, weather kept stopping play. This was officially the last day of filming on the Moor, and there was one last chance to beat the Manaton curse. I was amazed how relaxed everyone was about it, at least externally.
Right. It is meant to go through though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to
Yeah, I
pass.
think it's the next half an hour or so it's meant to kind of die right down.
Wait a minute, lads, I've got this great idea.
Oh.
What's the band's name?
Wolfgang.
Jamie rearranged his van so we could sit out of the rain, and we waited for it to pass, which it did, for a moment, before coming back again, and again.
I saw you come into
Yeah.
a shed and
Nice to
shout
meet you,
at
nice to meet
people,
you.
but
George
I was an
is
extra.
in-
In particular, actually.
yeah, a heathen and a loser apparently I am, yeah.
Sorry to the other 60 people.
How are you?
Really, I want to be walking around in nothing but a coat in the middle of December.
No.
No.
Is there a problem with the coat itself, or is it more that it's just the coat that's the problem?
It's more than it's just, the coat is too small for me. And
Don't flatter yourself.
Despite the weather remaining capricious and time running out, everyone kept their cool, and some homemade brownies kept the spirits up.
Chocolate.
Not mine, where's everybody else?
Homemade brownies. Yeah, like. Or when we were there in the, like late night, annoyingly, it's so still.
Oh, yeah,
it
look-
looks like we could have shot it in a studio.
Looks like studio.
It's
Right.
dark as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, right.
There's like no.
There was no wind.
Yeah.
Not even the slight hair was wobbling.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, I was thinking, oh no, this looks like one of those cheap BBC plays. You know, you used to get on a Sunday evening on BBC Two.
And just when it was needed the most, with the light turning dimpsy, the rain finally subsided.
Nice light up there now.
Yeah,
Ready?
yeah, set.
And action.
Steps in.
So is this James' last shot?
So we've got James from the side.
Were we doing it by the wall?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Sorry.
We're going to do it from here. Ready?
Yeah, set.
And action.
Oh, here comes David with his coat.
Okay, we need to really, we're dropping.
Yeah.
It's dropping.
And cut. Lovely.
Get the birds.
We've got the birds flying.
Yeah, that's the one, that's
Nice.
the one.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
David, thank
Alright.
you very much. Go and get yourself.
Oh, go home then.
A bit of experimentation with some high-powered torches, a few scenes of characters shuffling back and to between previously recorded scenes, and it was time to head out onto the moor properly, where the crew had permission to film the final scenes and fly a drone for some aerial shots too.
Sam's just miking everybody up.
Do you want another snack or next like packet of crisps or something?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we say. Hit the lens of the torch. Nice. Got that.
And cut. Lovely.
Can I
Thank
just see
you.
that back? Hello everyone.
By this time, it was getting pretty cold and uncomfortable, with a chill wind springing up as the sun went down. But no one complained. Now, I've not been on the set of any other films, and maybe they're all like this, with the crew getting along, not whinging, finding compromises, working through problems with only words of encouragement and positivity. But somehow I doubt that's the case. I could see that Beex had put together a really special group here, not just technically, but in terms of their character and teamwork too.
No, like the angle needs to be more.
I think the trouble is, Sam, we're so wide, so bonkers wide.
It
Right.
needs to be like. at
So
an angle
I'm not
like
sure
that,
if we
right?
can use it for
I
this
can't.
one, but we can
Okay.
get in for the dialogue. Come and have a look at the shot.
This is the dialogue.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
if we're
so-
going to ADR most of it,
I think record it
Then
separately in a
we'll
minute because
record
you're
it.
so
We're
wide
not
you can easily
yeah.
Yeah.
dub on stuff.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I'll
there.
tell you, that's a good idea, Dom. Thank you. Yeah. So if I shoot one for action,
Yeah.
we don't really see their lips,
Okay.
and then I can switch off the camera and you can shoot one just for your boom and actually get in there.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's reset.
A real horror movie happening over there somewhere.
Our own doing. We've
Yeah, I
got
know, but-
standing
Jake's
David.
But Jake's getting in David's clothes for the drone shot when you walk off. But if we lose another one, then we're screwed, aren't we?
All right, we'll be quick.
Unless we ditch the drone. But
No. No, no. I love it.
it's cost us $11.99 now.
99, 24-hour subscription.
Yeah. You can fly close to people, buildings, all this kind of stuff. But it's susceptible to wind. Let's try it.
Okay.
Because we've got nothing. Well, we have got everything.
I'll stay by the van.
It's really twitchy and it flies off. Switch it really quickly.
After a near disaster with a rogue drone which didn't like the gusts, it was time to pack
Johnny,
away.
torch it in, please, really quick.
Come Someone's trying to torch at the drone.
Come on, Buzz. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Terrifying.
So you're going for pubs and pizzas?
We're all going to
now.
pubs and
Nice.
pizzas. Yeah.
Pubs and pizzas.
I would be jealous, but I'm looking forward to getting back to my
No, it
tent,
should be
so-
good.
Bex and her team were off to celebrate finishing the film somewhere warm, while I headed off on another adventure.
Right.
That's what they do. Hey, thank you. No, thank you so much. It's been brilliant.
Now, I've not seen the Medusa Box, other than the prologue, a trailer, and the few shots that I got a behind-the-scenes peek at. The film won't be edited and ready to go until later this year. But I have seen the people that made it and observed the process, and if the film lives up to even a fraction of this team's skill and enthusiasm, then it's going to be a cracker. And what's not to love? A combination of humour and horror, a letterboxing mystery, and, of course, the best backdrop any film could wish for. Gnarly old Dartmoor. If you follow me in any social media capacity, I'll make sure to give you all a shout when the Medusa Box hits the screen. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.